What's going on, guys? Jumping into a glute ham raise today, going over how to do it, progressions, regressions, all the little fun stuff you want to know how to do it better. Here we go. So setting up for a glute ham raise. First and foremost, buy your glute ham raise from elitefts. We'll go over why in a second. Obviously, the reason is that we love elitefts stuff. Big win. But when you're setting up for glute ham raise, you need to make sure that the one you're using has a big enough back plate. The reason is you need a place for your toes to drive into the plate or the back support. You'll see a lot of glute ham raises that have very, very short back plates and your toes hang off. When you're trying to work your posterior chain, aka your glutes and your hamstrings, the muscles actually go all the way down and attach right under your big toe. So if you don't have that big toe pressure and the ability to drive that big toe into a stable surface like this, you're not going to get as much of an impact. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. As much of an impact on the glutes and the hamstrings as you would if you had that bigger plate. So that's first and foremost. Second, settings. In terms of, it's going to vary based on your limb length, but what you really want to look for is, Alex, jump in here. You want to make sure that you can obviously drive your toes into the back pad here, so he's in a good position. And if you notice here, his knees are slightly below the pad. That's kind of what we're looking for. And this is a great time to kind of go over why the elitefts versions of a glute ham raise are so much better, is because if you look at this pad here, it's slightly rotated. You're going to notice this is not a straight line across, it's slightly tilted forward. The reason for that is because at the top of the movement with a flat pad, what you're going to find is this portion of the movement on a regular machine without this pad, you're not going to be getting much activation out of the glutes or the hamstrings. Alex, in this position, you can feel your glutes and your hamstrings, is because his body is slightly tilted forward and it changes that strength curve of the movement, so it actually makes it more difficult. So that's a fun little fact for you guys. Secondly, you want to focus in on making sure that your knees are just a little bit underneath the pad. Again, this is a really good demonstration of another reason why this pad is tilted like this. This allows for those knees to be slightly under that pad a little bit easier. Other than that, pretty much just want to be locking in at the top, right? So what you'll see Alex doing, he's going to lock in his rib cage and his pelvis, right? So the goal of this exercise is to work your hamstrings and your glutes. The goal is to not necessarily work that lower back. We want to make sure we take the lower back out of it and put all the force going through the hamstrings and the glutes. We do that by stabilizing the core. So let's show an example of what, if you did not stabilize your core, what it would look like. Come all the way down, kind of rounds over, pull yourself up. And as you see, he starts to get a little bit of that body English coming up, driving that upper back and putting a lot of pressure on that lower back we're going to try to avoid. The goal here, stable core leads to a stable pelvis, which allows for all the force and emphasis to go onto the glutes and the hamstrings. So again, lock it down, coming out all the way, stretching out, nice and flat. We want those legs nice and straight, squeezing back with the hamstrings and the glutes. As you see with a little bit of shaking there, he's doing a hell of a job. So I would say that's the basic level of a glute ham raise. Really focusing in on stable core, really focusing in on driving your toes into the metal plate, allowing yourself to get fully extended, legs nice and straight, toes into the pad, pulling yourself up. Slow and controlled. We're not really looking for those fast, explosive reps when you're just trying to use this as an accessory. A couple things when you're trying to do these on your own, if you are having trouble, I would suggest doing a couple different things. If you have a partner you can work with, we can show you, so we'll get into that position here. This is kind of a modified version of a glute ham raise. So what I'm gonna do as his partner, I'm going to put my arm out here. So if he couldn't go down all the way and come back up, down, come to me, and now swing it up. Good. Giving him just a little support. And again, you need a training partner for this. So as he gets better and better, I can bring my arm farther down. Good, squeeze it up. And as soon as he can get all the way down, this is kind of an in-between. Good, squeeze it up. And now, once he's strong enough, he can do a full rep. So I'll show another full one. All the way down, slow and controlled, squeeze up all the way. Cool. One way to make it a little bit easier. Another way to make it easier, grab yourself an Elite FTS mini band. You'll just kind of put that like over his shoulder. Yep. Now the band is gonna allow him to take a little pressure off the bottom of the movement. Good, swing it up. Easier? Good. So that band, obviously the stronger band you use, the more that's gonna take out of the bottom of the movement. The idea should be to start with one band, work your way to a lighter band, eventually work your way to not needing a band at all. So we talked about how to make a GHR easier. How do we make a GHR harder? So there's a million different ways you can do this, but a couple that I like to use is controlling the tempo. So making the exercise, we want to control the eccentric. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So 5-second eccentric, quick second pause. Try to get 5 seconds on the way up. Really trying to own that movement. Controlling that tempo is a really good way to make them more difficult if you don't have any extra equipment, but we are here at Elite FTS and we have plenty of extra equipment. So let me grab one for you. Dun, 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 dun. I grabbed the grossest plate I possibly could, in the grossest color possible. I appreciate it. Just like with the back extension, if you saw that video, we kind of went over how to make a back extension more difficult. Same ideas with this. We have the plate on the chest, adding that external load. Perfect. Oh, look at that. That looked like it sucked. All right. The other way you make it more difficult is changing that center of gravity. Just like with the back extension, and I'm smiling because you don't have to, there's no way. Put it behind your head, right? So as you change that center of gravity of the weight, it's gonna be more difficult. Final form, just like with the back extension, extending it out. You wanna extend it out? No. No, guys. Something will break off of your body. I get it. So, the other question that we get a lot with glute ham raises is what can you do if you don't have access to a glute ham raise? So pop right off, we'll head over to the turf. All right guys, so if you do not have access to a glute ham raise bench in your gym, I'm sorry to hear about it, but it is the thing. You can do this partner exercise and it's a Nordic hamstring curl. So again, what you're gonna do, have a partner hold on to your feet. Actually, drive those feet up just like this. Perfect. I'm gonna hold on. Partner's gonna hold the feet down, put some weight on here because you're gonna be fighting his whole body weight. And now I want you to just come out all the way, control it, control it, control it, control it. Good. Push yourself up and squeeze. Awesome. Now one more time, and on the way up, what I want you to do is try to maintain that core stability like you were doing before. Good, all the way down. Control as far as you can. Perfect. Now squeeze all the way up. So, rest. Those are tough. Those aren't easy. What you can do if you don't have a partner to do with these, that doesn't make any sense. To do these with, sorry, lack of coffee again. You can bury your legs underneath a bench or in a squat rack, or they actually sell these floor model glute ham raises you can use. But the idea is you want to stabilize your feet and allow you to press against something that's not going to move. I've seen a lot of people utilize a Nordic hamstring curl, which what they thought was a stable surface ends up flipping. They end up doing a face plant, and it's not good for anybody. But Nordic hamstring curls, glute ham raises are an essential part of making sure that your hamstrings are strong, but also they help prevent a lot of potential soft tissue injuries due to instabilities of the hips, instability of the pelvis, and overall it's a great way to maximize your programming and maximize your performance and athletic ability. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. What are we, like Dharma and Greg? That was a dated reference. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out the other videos that we did, and make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next one.